Hi, friends, welcome. Yesterday, I had a lovely conversation with Corey Myers. He is a drummer, he creates content for YouTube and for Instagram, and I wanted to speak with him about how he stays inspired in his craft. He has consistently put out drum covers that are constructed roughly the same way for a long time now, and I wanted to pick his brain about how he keeps things fresh. I am sharing the full conversation with you guys. I attempted for YouTube to keep this conversation at around 30 minutes. I failed. It's around 50 minutes. But I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Please feel free to check out Corey if you're into the things that he's up to. Links below. Enjoy. How's it going, Corey?
Going good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I know that you have a puppy, and this is a new development in your life. And I think it's important that we address that right from the beginning.
Yeah, so if I just run out of the interview, it's because my dog pooped on the floor.
Okay.
I'm totally kidding. He's potty trained. But yeah, I got a new dog. His name's Jax, and he's a French bulldog. You can follow him on Instagram.
What? He has an
I'm
Instagram
serious.
account. Oh, that's amazing.
It's Jaxy the Frenchie. Jaxy the Frenchie. All one word. But he has almost more followers than my wife now. So
Wow.
he's a big deal.
That's good. That's good. Well, dogs are good at keeping us young, and we're getting up in our years, so you know. Maybe next time we'll have Jax on for a conversation about staying inspired.
Oh my gosh.
So today,
Yeah.
I wanted to chat with you a little bit about staying inspired in your craft because you share consistent videos on both your YouTube channel and on your Instagram account. And I can imagine it can be difficult to stay inspired and keep things fresh for yourself. And I found that inspiration is not a good driver in the vehicle of your creative process because it can go away at times, but it's a good idea to keep it with you, and you have to keep it. You have to nourish it. Let's put it that way. And
Yeah.
and from my perspective, in the past, being a drummer myself, I've had times where I sit behind a drum kit and it can feel dull because perhaps I've played so much that I can't find anything new to incorporate into what I'm up to and to make it feel fresh again. But it's the good thing is when it comes to something like that, you can leave and come back 4 months later and sit down. It's a long time. A week later, sit down, and it will feel fresh again. But if you are actually trying to have a creative output, like you're doing on somewhat of a schedule, and the schedule is different for everybody, somewhat of a schedule, you have to inspire yourself. You have to structure inspiration into what you're up to. And I'm curious, first off, do you struggle with a lack of inspiration, and what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I definitely struggle from time to time. For me, it really honestly just depends on what I'm going through in life. And personal life has a lot to do with inspiration for me. And, so if my personal life's going good, then I think like most people feel easier. It's easier for them to get inspired maybe than it would be if you're feeling down or you're going through a stressful time. And I think that's just for everybody. But yeah, I mean, I definitely experienced times in my life where it's hard to draw inspiration from anything. And, there's been those weeks where I go 2 or 3 weeks without playing drums at all, and I just need to shut it off and take a break from it. And then when I come back, I just feel refreshed, and I feel almost like a whole brand new person or brand new creator in a way. And it's good to do that every now and then, but I will say it takes a lot for me to get to that point.
Mm-hmm. Because you love it so much.
Yeah, because I love it so much, and it's what drives me as a person. And so, it takes a lot for me to get there, but I do experience those times where I'm not inspired.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting to me that you immediately went to personal life. If so, are you saying that if things are out of whack, maybe in your relationships or just you're dealing with something, you have a dentist appointment coming up, it will sort of throw off your feng shui and make it hard to
Yeah,
stay inspired?
yeah. I mean, it's not that's not always the case, and I wouldn't say personal life is 100% of the factor. Um, but I mean, it definitely does. If I'm having a busy time during my day job and doing marketing stuff, or I've got a lot on my plate, or I have a lot of even music itself, like the craft that I love so much that we're talking about, that can overtake my life so much on
Mm.
the work side of it because I do the sessions and the gigs and sometimes fly out gigs. I haven't been doing fly out gigs lately because I got so burnt out on it. And
Burnout. Such a great word to demonstrate
yeah,
what can happen as a musician if you're creating consistently.
yeah, and the cool thing about social media and the internet is that when you're creating stuff for people online, you can choose and pick what you want to create and what you want to do. And when I'm playing drums for other people, yes, I enjoy it, but there are times where that will burn me out because sometimes I don't like the music that I'm playing, or sometimes I'm in a session that has been going on for 4 or 5 hours straight and without any breaks, and it's tiring. And when you do that over and over and over, and then you're trying to create stuff on the side for your audience the audience I've built online, that's where drumming and music itself can um, lead me to burnout.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that mixed in with personal life, it just if the two are not going well at the same time, then it's just like, okay, I don't want to do this right now. I need to take a step back.
Yeah. So I'm curious when those things sort of overwhelm you, what are some ways that you've learned to keep it fresh and keep your love for playing alive?
Um, there's all kinds of ways. I mean, the first thing would be that I do love it so much that it doesn't take me long to get back to the point where I want to do it again. Um, but I think it also goes back to the personal life thing a little bit, where there might be something that I just encounter in my daily life that triggers my mind and triggers that creative side of me to step back into that process and start playing drums again, or start making content for people again, or want to get back in the studio and record for people. And an example would be, yeah, it's funny because I I find burnout with music and drumming. I feel that a lot from the craft itself, like I just said, but I also get the inspiration drawn back from the craft as well. So,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and and hopefully that made sense. But
No,
you
I
know,
totally get it. It totally makes sense. Very clear.
for example, I could be taking a break from my craft, and then maybe one night I'm on YouTube and I see a live concert, or I see another drummer post something that I really like and I really love, and that might spark something in me to be like, okay, I need to get back into it. Like I miss it.
Mm.
And so that's very interesting for me, is just that the craft itself can lead me to burnout, but the craft itself can lead me back to inspiration.
Yeah, and what is it? What does it tend to look like when you have that moment that sparks your interest again and makes you remember? Oh, wait, I really love doing this.
What it looks like, man, I look like a kid on Christmas. Because it's just like, I see something and it's just like, it's like a light bulb goes off in my head, literally, and I might even like jump up. And if somebody's around me, like my wife, or somebody that I work with, or somebody from church, anybody, a friend, there's been times where I've been like, oh, I just thought of something, and I just have this great idea, and I need to tell you about it so I don't forget about it. And then I also just like need to speak my mind about
Yes,
it because I'm gonna do
you
it.
need them to be a notebook for your thoughts almost.
Yeah. Well, and I need to get that feedback, and I need to be like, okay, I'm not a crazy person, am I? Like this idea just popped into my head, and most people probably don't have this idea. So am I crazy for having this idea because nobody else has it?
Mm.
And so I can get that feedback from them. But yeah, I mean, the actual moment that I find inspiration again or something triggers my mind is a lot like a surprise in a way of a surprise party or getting a gift from somebody that you weren't expecting. It's just like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm really glad that I have it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is
you
it
know?
so? So give me an example of maybe like a specific YouTube video or something that you would come across that would trigger that for you. Because I'm trying to like get into that moment with you when you
Uh,
feel inspiration once more flower within your loins.
so recently, actually, this I kind of went through this process recently where I just felt like my content on YouTube and Instagram too, but they're kind of two different things to me. But especially YouTube because you can do longer videos. And I know that Instagram has Instagram TV now, but I still feel like YouTube is taking the lead with longer video type stuff. And you see all these vloggers and things like that. And so I was struggling a couple months ago and was just like, man, I've been doing covers this past year for 2018. I've been doing drum covers left and right. I mean, I think I
Dude, you're
posted two.
you're prolific. I mean, you really
Yeah,
you put out consistently.
I think I was posting like 2 or 3 full covers a week, and then on top of that, I was posting clips from those on Instagram, and then also filming just like drum groove videos for Instagram and taking pictures and going out and doing photo shoots and like having cool pictures to post on my stories as well.
Mm.
And after a while of doing that, because I basically did that this whole year, I just got to the point where I was like, I am not getting something from this anymore personally, and I'm getting burnt out. And I know that my followers like to watch the covers, but if I'm not enjoying it, then I don't feel like I'm being my true self. And so I stopped doing covers for maybe a month, and I don't know if anybody noticed or not. But I just didn't post very many covers, a couple months ago for about a month. And then I came across actually a good friend of mine. His name's Jeff Randall, and he plays drums as well. He lives down in Nashville and tours with Philip Phillips. And he also has a YouTube channel, so shout out to Jeff if you see this. But he
Hi,
has a
Jeff.
YouTube. Yeah, hey Jeff.
Say hi to Philip for me.
But he has a YouTube channel, and Jeff does the opposite of what I do. He does not post covers all the time. He actually posts like lesson videos and tips for drummers and how to get better at very particular things. And so I saw this video that he posted recently about strengthening your 16th notes when you're playing drums. And so I clicked it because, one, it's my friend, and I wanted to see what he was up to. But I was kind of curious to see his content. And I remember the video was just put so well together, and it flowed well together. And I actually got a lot of value out of it myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, I know how to play drums. I know how to play 16th notes. But for me to watch a video that a friend of mine put out and I got something from it and I was inspired was really cool. And so that inspired me to go, okay, I want to start inspiring other people like he's doing, and I want to start doing lessons too. And this is a good way for me to kind of start doing it. And so that's why the last couple weeks I've tried to post more lesson type stuff on my channel. And so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. No, well, I think you have a great personality for it. I think you would do a great job at it. But I think it's interesting because I will also find myself in places where I just feel unsatisfied and discomforted by the content that I'm creating, and I will have to dig into that and figure out what it is that's making it not quite right. And I find that inspiring yourself, and by that I mean intentionally sitting down and seeking out other people's content that inspire you, for example, can be extremely helpful in figuring out what's not quite aligned, but also looking within yourself and questioning what you actually want to be creating. Like for me, I have a lot of shower thoughts. I have to pick out times in my day where I'm just noodling in my head exhaustively about what's not quite there, what meaning is not in my work, how I am dissatisfied, or if I'm creating something, how to deal with the issue of creating things for other people versus creating things for myself, where that balance is. And I find that the more I dig into that and get in touch with the meaning that I'm trying to create and creating things that I would actually be interested in, because there are going to be other people out there like me who are going to also sort of get, they're gonna get it like I get it, right? I think it's so easy to create for other people and to create things that has a bit of a trendiness to it because that's the thing that works. But that's different than making a lasting impression, and that's different than creating content that is an expression of your own authentic voice. And so I find that that's where inspiration is so incredibly important, is to keep yourself in line with your purpose of your work.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a good point too, because another thing that really drives me nuts is when I'm creating content for my followers and my audience, it's really hard to tell what they want. Mm-hmm. And I can send out little things on social media and say, hey, I want some feedback from you guys. And I do that to get topics of things to talk about and make videos on. But for me, it's like, okay, once I get the video posted, did you guys really get something from this? And was it helpful to you? And yeah, comments help if people are like, hey, this is awesome. But I feel like I need a step further than a comment of like, well, how is it helping you in your drumming life? And you know what I mean? And that's hard for me sometimes, because a lot of people might measure their success based on likes and comments. For me, it's more of the comments section, and I really want like the honest feedback of like, hey, I watched that video and it really helped me. I love it when people message me and they're like, hey man, we're learning this song in church this week and your video really helped me learn the song, things like that. And it's like, okay, now I know that video is worth something to somebody, as opposed to I throw this cover online and, it gets 5,000 views, but maybe no comments. And then it's like, people liked it because they watched it, but I don't know how valuable that was to somebody.
Right. Well, it's like the question you have to ask yourself is, do I want it just to be entertaining, or do I want it to be something different than that? What meaning am I trying to pursue with my work, with the stuff that I put out?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, I think that the interesting thing about looking within yourself as opposed to looking out, and I think that looking out has its value. I want to say that. I mean, I think that's fantastic. And I think the issue that can arise is that everybody wants something a little bit different. And like you're saying, you don't know on what level it's touching them. And maybe you want to affect them on a deeper level than what it's currently doing. And so it's almost like you have to risk making some people, you have to risk making some people feel not get what they want so that you can actually create the vision that you have in your own mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean you're exactly right. You have that battle of like, okay, 10,000 people here telling me that they just want to see covers.
Mm-hmm.
And the other 10,000 people are telling me, "Hey, it'd be awesome if you could break down that drum fill in this video for me." And then the other 10,000 people are saying, "Hey, it'd be awesome to see more of your personal life." you know? And it's a hard balance, and that's what I struggle with, right? I'm currently struggling with this because it's just like I have no idea what's most valuable anymore to my audience because one, I've been doing it so long, and I feel that burnout when I do like the covers and things like that. And every now and then I enjoy doing that, and that's totally cool. But after doing it for a while, I'm just looking for something deeper, and I want to connect with my audience on a deeper level than just the likes and the comments. Because when I first started creating content, it was cool to see all the likes and comments and, oh man, this many people like what I'm doing. That's really cool.
Mm.
After doing it for a while, you get used to the likes and comments, and then you're looking for the connection with somebody to say, hey, this really helped me out. Or, I've had people message me that are depressed and they just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's not even related to drumming. I mean, we
Absolutely.
connected because we both like drums or music or whatever, but if I can help somebody that's depressed and maybe talk them out of committing suicide or anything like that, that's like
That's
crazy.
well, if we're talking about inspiration, that's inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not a counselor or a professional, so I don't want to like, you know, sit on Instagram and just look for depressed people all day long and talk to them. But if it's somebody reached out to me, I would obviously talk to them. But that's just an example of like, I would never expect to have helped somebody online and talk to them about their suicidal thoughts, and they felt comfortable coming to me, who they've never met in person, but because they watch all of my content and they feel like they've known me on a personal level, maybe, then they felt comfortable reaching out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And but when it comes to when it comes to the content, it's like, how do I measure what somebody's getting out of this without, I can't just go through everybody and message them and be like, hey, did you get something out of that video? Check.
Right.
It's too hard to do that.
Right, right. Well, I know, but I think you have to wrestle with those questions as a creator if you want to do something meaningful. Like I think that's the thing that when you watch the other creators, you don't feel like they wrestle with those things, but a lot of creators do, and I think they should, because I think that
Yeah.
that's how they continue to stay in touch with their with what's important to them to share with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
I was gonna say I watch a lot of Peter McKinnon stuff, and it's funny because I personally like the videos where he's doing fun things. So when he's doing the Nerf gun video, and when he posted a video yesterday or something of him like mobbing in Dubai in like a truck or something. I don't know, but I find those things really cool because it's like these experiences that I've never experienced, but I kind of am because he does such a good job of vlogging it all.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that, and I'm not speaking on his behalf, but I know that him as a creator, he probably really enjoys just creating like video content and like telling a story. And I follow his social media accounts, and he's getting ready to post this film called The Bucket Shot. and I just see how like excited he is as a creator to post that. And
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
a it's not really a vlog. I don't It seems like it's an actual film that he's working on of this beautiful place. And it's just interesting because I pick up on that from other creators too, and I
Mhm.
know it's not just me that's like, okay, I gotta film all these videos for the people that like these videos, and then I gotta go over here and film this stuff for the people that like this, and then I gotta do what's in front of me that I like, and
Mhm.
see if anybody likes it.
Yeah, yeah. People have so many different approaches to that problem. That's been an interesting thing that I've observed in the creators around me, and I listen to it and I struggle with some of the approaches. Right, it's something that holds a lot of questions that I wrestle with because for me, I I like to believe that, and I think it is true that if you if you create things that you love, there are going to be other Jameses out there, right? And it's like, and you're gonna forsake a lot of other people because you're authentically going head first into the weirdness that is what James wants. but you have to make a choice. Do you do that, or do you do more of what will allow you to feed the concern in your head that people won't like something that you create? Like where's that balance? And I don't think that there's I think that it's not wrong to consider what everybody else is wanting from you, what your audience wants, but I don't know where's it at? Where's that balance? Uh,
Yeah.
I think that what you can run the risk of doing is like, so hold up, that you have that mountain water. Where's that
Oh
beautiful
yeah.
mountain water you showed me?
My beautiful mountain water.
Okay, for audio listeners, he's holding up spring water, the Mountain Valley spring water. And when I first started talking to him on this call, he was already drinking it, and it was a moment of pure passion for him. I could tell. It seems like he really loves it.
Was.
So imagine if you took that water and you put some coffee in there, maybe a little bit of Kool-Aid, because those things are tasty, right? So you put them all in there, what you end up is a diluted mess of awfulness. And I think that what you can run the risk of doing with the stuff that you create, if you are not, if you're not, if you don't keep your vision clear in your head of what you want to give to the world, you can run the risk of diluting all of your content in the attempt to please everybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and to be on a honest level here, I feel like I've done that a little bit where I have diluted some of my content. And like I said, I with the covers, I put out covers every week this year. Like I think I counted them. I'm pretty sure I had like 80 drum covers this year. And
That's amazing, though. That's amazing.
it's insane is what it is. I mean, it's like I don't know what I was doing, Like I was just overworking myself, and I had fun doing it. But I lost inspiration, and it just drove me to the ground to say, okay, no more. And the funny thing is, like, I'm doing something that I don't really enjoy, and I'm not giving 100% to it. And so it was just funny that, like, I feel like my content has been diluted a little bit because I was trying to cater too much to the internet world this last year. And then I finally just realized, I'll still do covers here and there, but I'm going to start doing stuff that I like to do and that inspires me, and stuff that's valuable to people. And I think when it comes to the drumming world specifically, that thing is lessons and tutorials and like vlogs on how to record. And that right there is the answer to everybody right there. They just want to know how I'm recording.
Yeah.
And I can answer questions all day long through comments and messages, and people still want the video because they want to see it. They want to know exactly what the process is to recording. And so that's kind of a little hint there of what I'm getting ready to kind of go into the next season of making videos and creating content for me will be the recording side of drumming. And this is how I'm getting my mixes dialed in and things like that. So, but it took the whole year of diluting my mountain water, and for me to figure it out. But it's just hard because and I'm rambling here, but I get on YouTube and I'll see other drummers who are only doing covers and they kill it. And they're having a blast and it seems like they're enjoying themselves. And so then I feel pressure of like, well, that's what I need to do. I just needed to do covers. Mm-hmm. And I think I just got so stuck in that this last year, and it took me to actually run myself through the ringer a little bit, and dilute my content to finally reach this point of burnout. And now I'm starting to find inspiration again, from random things, and going back to what I said earlier, personal life and other musicians and even music itself, or like this conversation is very inspirational. Mm-hmm. And to sit here and actually talk about my inspirational problems per se out loud to somebody is very helpful for me, because I'm starting to realize, yeah, this is what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start doing this kind of stuff. And I've been doing way too many covers, but to actually say it is a whole nother thing too.
Yeah.
And so thanks for the counseling session.
You're welcome. And I think I think that what I want to try to do with myself to avoid getting stuck is to continue to stay in a state of courage when it comes to pushing forward, because with implementing changes can be something that takes some bravery. It's kind of scary because maybe you're worried you're gonna make some people not so happy, or
right.
They're not gonna get it. I feel like that's a big one, right? Are they gonna get it? Like, are they gonna understand what I'm trying to do here? Or any number of things that can create anxiety within us creators. And it takes a sort of courageous presence of mind, I think, to continue to take those steps forward and to put yourself in situations that allow yourself to stay inspired. And I think conversations, interacting with the community is a great example of that. And so I think it's really interesting that we've gone this direction with this conversation, and we've spoken about what you're trying to do in the future. So you're welcome for the counseling session. That will be if you could just send me. Oh, can you send me a good snare drum?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Then we're all set, man.
And talking about inspiration, I find a lot of inspiration in sports too, and I can't remember if we talked about that last time. But
looking outside your craft, I like it.
Yeah, it's I really love basketball, and so I love watching documentaries about basketball players and all the greats like Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and I watch every single Lakers game of the season, and that's like my second love to drumming is basketball.
Yeah.
And so with my personality, I'm the kind of person that's like, I love basketball almost as much as drumming. I'm to the point where I'm ready to like make a YouTube channel just for basketball.
Dude, you should just you should just hardcore shift. Like your next video is top 10 layup tips. Like,
well,
I want you to give your viewers whiplash.
Well, it's funny because it's like my personality is very outgoing, and I if you do an Enneagram test, I'm a number 7, and
Okay.
a number 7 is like an adventurous person who says yes to pretty much everything. And so in my personal life, all the things I love, I just want to like I can't stop thinking and creating for everything that I like, not just drums, but like NBA basketball, or I like comedy a lot too, and I watch a lot of stand up. And it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, I love basketball so much, and I'm constantly watching YouTube videos of highlights and like other people talking about highlights. I'm like, I want to do that.
Mm.
You know, like I love talking about it. I want to build a channel and just start talking about basketball. But it also goes back to I just don't have enough time either to do all
Yeah.
that stuff. And I still like drums the most. And so I'll definitely stick with that one. But it's just funny because I draw. It's funny because
You
I
should
get
combine them all.
I've been thinking about that. I really have. I thought about because on YouTube you can arrange your channel into playlist, which is what I've done. And so I've got like covers and then lessons and vlogs. I do some small vlogging here and there, and um, I really thought about like just creating a playlist that's just all like NBA stuff, and just like I don't know, but will that dilute my content? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there would be some YouTube experts out there that would not recommend that.
Yeah,
Maybe make another channel.
probably. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's another art form altogether is the YouTube algorithm that I've been learning a lot about that lately, and that's a weird thing, and it can clash with the creator's mind. You that is very
yeah,
explorative and adventurous.
yeah. And it seems lately, that maybe it's just me, but it seems like the YouTube algorithm is not helping YouTubers. Like I'm just noticing that a lot of people that I follow and stuff, their view counts and things like that are just really low.
Hmm.
Um,
It's
and even
shifting, and
like,
I think it's shifting a lot lately, and
yeah,
I think that there's a sort of there's a specific route that it wants you to go, and if you don't go down that route, it can be tough. That's from what
yeah,
I can tell.
yeah,
But
and
it's a mystery. The whole thing's a mystery in a lot of
it
ways.
is. It's weird. It's weird. Even, I mean, Instagram's getting weird too.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And I try not to focus too much on the algorithms, because I just get lost in it, and then it's like, well, then I feel like I got to do something completely different than what I want to do, and I don't know. But getting inspiration, one thing that just popped in my mind, getting inspiration for me also involves getting other people involved,
Mm.
and like for example, this weekend I've scheduled a shoot with like 5 other musicians that I know, and we're doing like these live band videos. It'll be the first time I've ever done like a live um, video session with 5 or 6 musicians, and it's all one take and everything.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that sounds so rad.
yeah, and I think it'll be cool because it gives these other musicians who I know well, and one of them's my dad. It just it gives them a place to express their talents and create as well. But it also inspires me to have them be a part of what I'm doing, and it's something new for all of my followers. I've never posted a full live band video before,
Mm.
so that should be pretty cool. But
I'm just ready for the father-son bonding that's going to occur there. I just picture you guys playing, love lifts us up where we belong, and you guys are just looking in each other's eyes the whole time. I think that would be a really special moment.
No, my dad and I are not the like lovey-dovey type.
You will be after this.
My dad actually has a YouTube channel as well, and he plays guitar,
Mm.
but he's been getting into more like video creating and picking up some sponsors and stuff like that, and which is super cool for him because he for a while he got in a slump and he wasn't playing any gigs or anything, and so now that this whole like social media stuff has broken through and people are creating on the internet, he found an outlet and does what I do basically.
Heck yeah, that's beautiful. But seriously, love
Yeah.
lifts us up where we belong and looking into the eyes. Do that. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to ask you before we wrap this up is I'm curious, looking forward for yourself in lieu of everything that we've spoken about this evening. What do you think is? I think my lights are turning off. Hold on, I still look good. That's fine. Hopefully they don't turn all the way off. I have smart bulbs. Uh, so what structure could you create? Do you feel like you could create for yourself to be more deeply and consistently inspired in the direction you're trying to go?
I think for me, um, I like to stick to a schedule. Um, and I know we talked about that the last time we talked a little bit, but going forward, I think for me, it's just scheduling and writing down what my ideas are. And that's something I never did before was I never really kept like a journal or a list of like things that I actually wanted to do and content that I wanted to create. It was always just like either last minute or I was always looking to other people to see what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I think now recently, I'm still, getting feedback from my followers and asking them what kind of stuff they would like to see me do. But I'm also catering it more to what I want to do. And so I've been making a list of like, okay, I want to make these videos and I want to do lessons and tutorials. And I've been vlogging a little bit and doing something outside of the box that I'm not really used to, just to kind of get my mind off of thinking about drums 24/7. And that's actually helped me a whole lot. Just
Yeah,
because
there's a lot of value in that. Just getting away from the thing that you love for a little bit.
yeah, and it's not just like, it's not getting away from it every once in a while. It's more of like every week I
Yeah.
want to take, every week now I find myself taking at least a day where I'm not thinking about drums and I'm not creating anything. Now, if an idea pops in my head, I'll write it down and I'll leave it. And that's really helped me structure wise to keep a journal of all my ideas. And then after I go back to that list, I might filter some out and I might be like, that was a dumb idea. I don't even know why I thought about that. Um, I think another thing is,
Hey, don't beat yourself up. No idea is a dumb idea.
that's, hey, it's has some truth to it. And another thing, is to also have a schedule, and block out time to allow yourself to film your ideas and maybe work on your ideas and brainstorm a little bit more. And I also found myself the last year just getting out of my house and getting out of my office and going to like coffee shops or going outside somewhere and walking and just listening to music and just thinking and brainstorming. And I never really did that a lot when I started creating content. I was young and just, I thought I just needed to go straight to the studio 24/7 and just record as much as I could. And now it's more, I have more patience and it's more, okay, I'm going to go for a walk later and I'm just going to think about this idea that I've been thinking about for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's the structure that I'm finding, and I think it changes for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it really helps to write things down and to ponder them and have some patience with them first, and
Yeah.
maybe talk to somebody about your ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know, you might have some great idea, but somebody else might think it's the worst idea. So it's just
Or they can
and
and they can also just they can help you look at it from a different angle, right?
perspective. Yeah,
If your idea is like some sort of three-dimensional shape, they can show you the other side of it that you may have missed, or how you could
yeah,
develop it in a way that you never would have developed it on your own. And
yeah,
that's a really special thing, but sometimes it can be hard to do, but I think it's incredibly important.
yeah. And it's funny you say that. I've been sharing a studio space with a kid from my church recently, and it's interesting to have him around a lot when I'm recording content, because it's like I can ask him for feedback, but most of the time he'll give me like feedback that really improves what I'm doing,
Mm.
and it's just good to have that fresh perspective.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
So
That's awesome. I th- I I think that was a lot of good points. I really like the idea of, when you get ideas, just write them down and sort of meditate with them, and
yeah,
let them develop as they will. Another thing that I just started doing is I'm writing more. I'm actually writing blog posts. I wrote a blog post, and it was just an expansion of the notes that were already used for one of my most recent videos. And I started writing, and I had this hesitancy in me to write it, because I felt like I was wasting my time, and I should be more focused on on the things that I'm trying to make successful, and I'm adding this other thing in. It's going to just make everything, I'm not, it's not going to work out. But I just enjoyed it so much that I kept writing. And
yeah,
I've learned that sometimes sometimes it's a good idea to just do the thing that you're enjoying doing, because there's something that you can find there. And I wrote it out, and I posted it, and I felt really good about it. Not only that, I was able to expand my thoughts about that subject and learn from that, and hopefully use that in future content. So I think finding a sort of whatever kind of headspace works for you to be able to develop your ideas, whether that is writing or whether that's talking, whether you get like a 90s tape recorder, captain's log, whether whatever that looks like for you, whatever can help create a free flow of ideas, and then you have them in front of you, and then you can sort through them and understand what that will mean if you pursue this idea, and how this idea will pan out if you pursue it this way versus this way. I think all of these things are really good ways to stay inspired and stay connected to what you're trying to do.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with everything that you just said.
That's good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, it's
This would be really awkward. It would turn into a debate, and I value your friendship,
there's just something therapeutic about writing things down, or working out, or going for a walk, or just anything that's a stress reliever, really. I find that,
Anything that promotes mindfulness, I think.
yeah, I find that anything that's going to help you think clearer is going to help your content.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a given, and but
I think we miss that. I think we get so caught up in the process, the actual direct creation process, that we do not keep those other things in a structure that can help us carry out that better. And I think that, like what you're saying, I mean, working out and going on a walk and going on a hike and I don't know, washing the dishes and listening to just the right podcast to help generate some inspiration. All of these things outside of your craft feed into your craft.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, even like diet and what you're eating and things like that. I mean,
For sure, yeah.
it's crazy. And, getting enough sleep. There's all kind. You have to treat your mind like an athlete. And that's why I love getting inspiration from sports, because all these people are taking care of their bodies and they're eating the right stuff and they're working out. And yeah, that's part of their craft. But as human beings, everybody has to do that to somewhat function. And, you can't just not sleep and eat junk food all the time and expect your mind to think clearly. Yeah. And that's also something that comes with maturing too. And, I'm 25 and I'm just now starting to like get into, okay, I need to make sure I'm going to bed at like 10 or 11, and I need to make sure that I'm eating fruits and vegetables every day and drinking water and all these things, and going to the doctor and taking care of myself. And for example, last week I've been having a lot of foot pain, and for like 4 months I can't figure out what it is, and my foot's not broken. Thankfully, they x-rayed it and everything, but at first I didn't go to the doctor.
You've got the drummer's ankle.
Yeah. I didn't go to the doctor because I just thought, oh, it'll go away. And that's how I've been thinking, because I've been young, and usually those things when you're young, your body just heals faster. Mm-hmm. And
I found that at about 23, that stops happening. Yeah. And I know if anybody is 35, 40, 50, they probably think it's hilarious that I just said that. But yeah, they're like, oh, you just wait, sonny boy. But yeah, it's like I started experiencing all sorts of random health stuff that I'm like, wait, this was so much easier when I was younger. Now I have to go to the doctor for this thing. Like,
yeah, and oh man, it's like, it sucks. Like the foot thing, I've had to ice it every night and put it in hot water, and I gotta do this every night until my next appointment, and it's just. But you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, yeah, and that process has all sorts of other benefits in it for you in your craft, believe it or not. But yeah, you'd like to avoid it, but I think it's a good idea to not forsake the benefits that can come with having to deal with something really frustrating, and maybe it makes you more disciplined because you had to take care of your foot.
It does, and honestly, now I kind of look forward to going home every night and filling the tub up with really hot water and like soaking my feet in the tub and watching other people's stuff. It's like,
yeah, it forces you to have inspiration sessions.
Yeah,
I like it. That's positive thinking. It's beautiful.
It really does.
That's so good.
I'm not making this stuff up, people. I promise.
No, dude, I totally understand. It's like I use the moments in my life where I have to do the things that I don't want to do, and then I will add in earbuds and a phone, and I'll play something, and it forces me to be in. I have to, like, I always talk about washing the dishes, right? It's like I have to do nothing but stand there and wash the dishes with my hands. So let me find something that I can listen to that will help me become better. That maybe I learn, maybe I educate myself, maybe I inspire myself toward, or maybe I learn about how other people have navigated the creative process, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so,
and
everything's an opportunity.
And it's good to ask questions when you can from people. Mm-hmm. If you're curious about a certain topic or how to do something, it doesn't hurt to ask somebody who's really good at it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think this is a good place to wrap it up. I think that if we take anything away from this, it is that you should not dilute your mountain water. Never dilute your
Yes.
mountain water.
Do not dilute your water ever. No, just kidding.
Ever.
But yeah,
It's
don't dilute your content.
don't dilute your water with Kool-Aid and coffee, because what can end up happening is it's a gateway drug, because it's actually really just so good that you'll become a crack addict. And I don't have data to back that up, but that's just a feeling I have.
I just took a drink because you inspired me to.
It's beautiful. Okay.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Corey, for the lovely conversation.
Yay. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, check out Corey. I'll link him below. I hope you have a lovely day. I would love to know how you are trying to stay structured, to stay inspired. Don't dilute your don't dilute your mountain water.